courses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop up. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy. Don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming?
You know what? Hey, you know what? It's showtime. How you doing, King? And let me introduce you to Ruben Sanchez. Ruben, how you doing, sir?
I cannot hear nothing.
Can you hear me?
What is going on?
Can you hear me, Ruben? Ruben, can you hear me?
What the heck?
Can you hear me? Okay, I guess it's Ruben then. I just introduced you to everybody in the to the chat room, King Samoan. You know, they didn't leave that super sticker on there. They took it off. So thank you, King Samoan, for giving me a super sticker of how much? $5, right, King Samoan?
I don't know. I don't remember. I gave you a super chat and a super sticker.
Okay.
There we go.
So whoever gave a super sticker yesterday, YouTube took it off and put it on for yesterday. I don't know how they did that, but it's okay. Let me see if I can find it real quick in the in the chat room
Right.
real quick and
how you doing today, Johnny?
I'm doing good, man. I'm here alive with everybody and yeah, they took it off, King Samoan. They took it off.
That's
yeah.
all good. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care, buddy. It's all good.
Okay. So we're going to be reading with Children's with Past Lives today. And I watched a video last night on the 9/11 one. And let me tell you, that touched my heart when that little kid saw his life in front of him, his past life, and he was seeing his past life that he died on the 9/11, and it was so scary to me because I didn't know what to think about it at first. Then I rewatched it again, and you know what, King Samoan, I think I'm nailing it right on the money, ain't I, King Samoan?
Yeah, you are.
And I watched a couple of them, and there was this one that was this little girl. She saw her past life getting drowned by the Titanic ship. Like ship was like just going down on her, like it was like nothing. You know what I mean? And it was just so like what? Why is these ghosts messing with his children for? You know what I mean? And your take on that, Mr. King?
You know, it's a touchy subject for some people, Johnny, because a lot of people, they bring religion into the whole thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
And a lot of religions don't believe in reincarnation.
Yeah.
But me,
okay.
me who was raised in religion and stepped away from religion as a young teenager, it's hard for me to accept the fact, but at the same time, there's a lot of things in this world that you can explain. You know, I've had the luxury, I guess you could say luxury, of living on many native reservations throughout this country, mostly on the West Coast. But there's some shit I've seen on those reservations that I can't explain or that I've actually dealt with personally. So, you know, for my logical mind, it's hard for me to fathom. But at the same time, you know, there's so many things in this universe that we can't explain.
Right.
That makes sense. Because, you know, there's a lot of religions that believe in that type of thing. You know, the Buddhas, Buddhism, and some of those, they're really Hinduism as well as another one. So, and I grew up around Buddhists. You know, a lot of my Asian friends, they were like super, super hardcore Buddhists. So, you know, and they're really big into all that stuff. So it's hard for me to kind of go back and forth. Like I said, my logical brain says that shit's crazy. But at the same time, you know, I've dealt with so much weird things that didn't make sense on this earth that I can't say that it doesn't exist. You know, unless somebody passes away and really comes back, which I know there's been tons of people who have done that. The you know near death experiences or whatever you want to call them.
Right.
But a lot of people have said that that's just your body's natural way. You know, whether it's the DMT being released in your body or not. You know, they call that the whole God particle thing. Is that just your body's natural way of letting yourself go? I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. I've never had to deal with any of that. You know, I know my mom died when she had me at home. She hemorrhaged out there, and they had to call the ambulance, and she was dead for a couple of minutes. So, you know, but she says she doesn't remember any of that. She doesn't remember floating away or any of that stuff. So I don't know, you know. But when it comes to kids, my thing is seeing some of these kids, Johnny, to get back on track, is some of these 3, 4, 5-year-old kids. You know, I I have a hard time. You know, of course, kids have wild imaginations. They come up with crazy shit all the time. But some of these are so direct and so on point. It's hard to believe that somebody, you know, some little 5-year-old kid would be that so. You know that I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but that on point, I guess. You know, where they can name out the mom of their past life, their brothers, and how many brothers and sisters, their address, where they lived, what city, what state. I've never met a 3 to 5-year-old kid that could ever do that in my eyes. None of my kids were saying any of that, but you
And
know.
they always also tell how they died too, right?
Right, correct. A lot of them do. Will say how they passed away, or you. Not only that, Johnny, a bunch of them actually have birthmarks of their previous life and how they, you know, like the kid in India
Yeah.
of his head where he in his previous life was shot in the dome, and his as a kid he has a birthmark where he was shot at in his previous life in the front of his head and in the back of his head. You know, the universities get really deep into this stuff. There's a lot of universities out there that are researching these claims. A lot of people don't realize some of our big inventors in life were really believed in reincarnation. In fact, Henry Ford was one of them. There's quite a few of them, but Henry Ford was a big one that believed in reincarnation. Some
Right.
people might not know that, but he did. He did. But I don't know, Johnny. What do you think? What's your take on it?
Well, I really didn't get into it that much. Um, really getting into it that much, and
Well, and that's the thing, Johnny, is like Danielle here is in the chat is talking about her son had something like that. You can always bring some of these people up because I like to hear real life experiences. I can talk about all these things that I've watched and heard online, but I would really like if any of these people have
right.
had.
Are you there? Are you there, buddy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Ruben?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's easier for me to believe when it's coming from somebody and I can judge the truth from them versus just reading something on the internet. At least for me, because there's so much, misinformation out there.
Right.
So I don't know. That's just my idea. You got a super sticker there, Johnny.
Got a super sticker from Sarcasm TV, $4 super sticker. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Danny Ellie, if you want to come up, give me a text so I can send you a link. Text me and I'll send you a link. Okay. Snooks, hello. Misguidance, hello. Purple Pixie, hello. And I just want to say hello, everybody, into the chat room. I didn't say hello to you a while ago when I first came on. But how's everybody?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody's here, and I thought I would have thought my topic tonight was children's with past
lives. Correct.
And I'm not. I mean, we try to do we try our best to do everything we can do that I can do to bring you nice, good content, and I thought about it, and I did a little bit of my homework on it, but not very much on it. I'm so sorry. So just bear with me with this, and we'll all get through this. Give me a couple minutes. I got to go to the car and take a break because I'm at work. Oh, okay. She's at work anyway. Dan Ellie.
Okay.
Dan Ellie. But if anybody else got any stories they want to talk about, like about the children's past lives, you guys experienced that. You guys are more than welcome to come on. The reason why I started early tonight is because I want to get some more hours in, even though I already got my hours of watch time. But I wanted to see how many people I can get come on my channel today, because I'm still new at this, guys. So
That's all right. You're
hey,
learning as you go, Johnny.
Yeah.
Georg wants you to do the siren for Sarcasm TV. You didn't do your siren.
Okay. For Sarcasm TV for $4 super sticker. Woo! There we go, boys and girls. We're welcome to the circus.
There it is.
Welcome to the circus.
Choo choo. How you doing, Miss T? How you doing, Miss T? Chanel, how are you doing? Good to see you, Chanel. And King Samoan, you want to say hello to the chat room?
Hello, everyone. Sorry if I missed you in there. I wasn't paying attention really. I kind of had a late night, so I didn't get up very early this morning. So I apologize. I'm still trying to get my brain going. Takes a minute sometimes. But yeah, I'm good, Johnny. I'm alive. I'm breathing.
That's what's up.
I think I'm breathing.
We got a phone call coming in. Mr. X.
All right.
Monsieur X.
Mr. X, you're on live. How you doing, sir?
I'm playing with my butthole. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
Don't lie. Yeah, you were.
I don't think I've ever looked at it or touched it other than wiping it. So, yeah, hi, I'm back.
You want a link?
No, right now. I'm getting some things set up for tonight.
Okay.
Talking to Jim. I mean, maybe later. I mean, I saw you were on earlier, right?
Yeah, I came on early because I thought Jim was coming on. I thought Jim was coming on at 3:30. I said I'm still going to just run with it because I didn't know how long Jim was going to run it, because I don't want to affect the pre-show. You know what I mean?
Right. He ended up not doing that thing with the called the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, I might just do it in the VIP Plus after show. Like, that would be the after show. He'll just go out and go do that. Or
Yeah.
he says, I might just not do that at all. So that's kind of up in the air. I mean, it's having to do with kind of his travel schedule and all that. So I don't know how that's going to turn out, but everything else is on track to go on ahead today or whatever tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I appreciate you letting me let me do this for you guys, doing the pre-show.
Oh yeah, we're not. Hey, you can do whatever you want. Not go ahead and do what you got to do. But yeah, we're just here hanging out. And I'm just getting some things done for the work day. Finishes up here within the next 50 minutes.
That's right.
So, but yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I just want to check in real quick. Anything else new going on?
Not much going on. I'm still trying to learn how to, because after the show went off last night, I needed to go how to go inside there and turn it on so I can get monetized. I don't know how to do that yet.
Turn what on? Turn the
to turn for that show, yesterday's show, to get monetized. It says it still says it's turned off. I went in there. I went in there one time and I forgot where I went to go turn them all on, and the other ones are turned on to get monetized. But the one I did last night and the one before that, it didn't come on.
Do you want to do it right
now? No, because I'm in the live chat.
Oh, you can go into YouTube and do it. But okay, I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me
you just click your videos, you go into content, and then in the middle where it says live, you just click. It says monetization. You just click on.
Oh, okay. Now I remember. Thank you. And I want to also do that to talk to you about that T-shirt thing off air, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Well, let's get it done tomorrow because I'm going to be out and about on Thursday.
Okay.
So we'll do all these shows tonight, and then tomorrow, I pretty much got the day more open unless something crazy happens. Jim calls me and says, "Hey, let's do something," but I got a lot of shit I got to get done tomorrow, so I could probably do it then. Just a lot of small little things I got to knock out.
Okay, no problem, Mr. X.
All right, dude. Give me a call later. If not, I'll check in, a little bit later on in the show.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, dude,
peace. Well, there's Mr. X just checking in.
Shit I got to do, Johnny.
And yeah,
I got a lot of big shit I need to get done, but I keep putting it off because I'm thinking if I don't think about it, it'll go away. Kind of like my truck. I got to rip all the injectors out and spend a bunch of money to get them fixed or replaced and put them back in. But I'm hoping if I just ignore it, I can go start my truck one of these days and it'll just drive like a dream again. It ain't going to happen, but I think that's one of the reasons I come over here and come to YouTube. It kind of, it's a break from the bullshit I got to deal with in my daily life. Kind of like yesterday. I apologize to you, Johnny, and everybody yesterday. My mom called me on the phone when we were doing our live yesterday for your first show. So I got stuck on the phone with her. She was telling me about my sister and her mental health and her addiction problems. So she's kind of gone AWOL, I guess they call it. Is that where you kind of just disappear?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So she's kind of AWOL right now. Yeah, nobody knows where she's at. So
Jan Fritz,
no,
that's sad. That's sad. Go ahead, Ruben.
Do they know any of her associates?
Well, no, not well. They do, but the parole office will come after her. That's what's going to happen. Okay. It's not her first time, so she's still on parole. She's only been out of prison a couple of months. So yes, everybody, my sister did go to prison. I do have family members in prison. I don't judge them. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a felon. I don't have some massive criminal history. I'm just a regular dude at the end of the day. That or I was just smart enough not to get caught. One of the two.
There you go.
You'll never know either way.
There you go.
Everybody PZ said hi.
PZ and Hizzy.
Producer PZ, thank you for all you do behind the scenes. If you can hear me.
He said you're welcome.
Yeah, everybody. PZ does a lot behind the scenes, so you got to thank him as well, because without him, the Johnny show probably wouldn't be going still. Correct, Johnny?
That's right.
Yep. He does a lot to help all of us behind the scenes.
Look at that. Everybody in the chat room is saying thank you, PZ.
Okay, I'm going online right now.
He's going online right now. He just got back from the doctors. He had to go get his leg. He had to go get his leg wrapped because he when we first met, he hit his leg on my bike and he made a hole in his leg, and so it wouldn't heal right. So So he went ahead and now he's got to get his leg wrapped every once a week to make sure it heals right. You know?
So he gets it cleaned out.
Hi, Laura P. or Dale, or whoever's on there today.
LMNOP. LMNOP, thank you for being here.
I saw Fast Eddie pulled in here as well. Yelly's there.
Yelly's
grandma.
There. Compost Tacos.
Having fun.
Compost Tacos is here.
Yo.
We got the King Sea Org as always, and Miss Melissa Moniz. Always supporting the chat. Sea Org always talking shit to everybody, but it is funny.
I think me and Melissa might hook up one day.
But yes, you know, that's the daily shit I'm talking about, though, Johnny, is, you know, people, I'm not the only one, I'm sure, in this whole chat room that's struggling, has a family member struggling with this or that. So, you know, I think a lot of people come here to get away from that type of shit. I could be wrong, but I do. I know I do personally.
Stiffy, how you doing?
You know what I mean? My cousin, he did 20 years and he's been out, I want to say this is probably like 4 years now.
Right. Well, and some people change, you know. I give a props to anybody who went in, served their time. Some of them don't. I have a cousin that will never change, I don't think. Been in and out of prison since the time he turned 18. You know, he's in his almost 40s now, and he just doesn't give a shit, you know. He's on parole, carrying guns around, drugs around. You know, he just doesn't want to leave that life, I guess you can say. And you know, that's his choice, his life. Either way, he's still my family. I still love the kid, but I just know, you know, I can't be around those things. You know, I choose not to be involved with it, other than family functions and things where everybody's there. You know, the crazy thing is, and not to get off track, but the crazy thing is, my cousin's dad, my uncle, is a Mormon bishop. Well, he was. He's did his time already, but he was a Mormon bishop. So, and that's her son, their kid. So, you know, it goes to tell you, man, you can come from the best fucking most strict family, whatever religion it is, and still end up on the wrong side of the law.
And that's why I always say, you know, you're not a product of your environment. You're a product of the choices you make in life.
That is very, very, very true. I agree. Some choose the quick route, the easy route, and end up there, or, you know, some people don't. Some people work their way out. You know, like Johnny, he's a perfect example. And not to get too far off subject, but, you know, he was homeless just a few years ago, living on Skid Row on the streets of LA. That's about as bad as you can get, you know, down in the dumps wise. And look where you're at now, Johnny. Now you got hundreds of people coming in your chat, thousands of subscribers, and you're doing your thing, right?
Yes, sir. We have almost we almost have 1,600 people almost have 1,600 people as subscribed to me.
Nice.
That's good.
That's awesome.
And Melissa, autism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. Yay.
Right. You know, one thing, Johnny, my ex-wife, she's you know, where she can't spell things right. What do they call that? Like, she reads words differently, like they're all scattered. I can't remember what they call that. But I used to correct her all the time on her words, and it was her biggest pet peeve. So I try not to do it now. So I apologize if I do it to you. It's just a bad habit that I have. Trust me, my English.
It's called dyslexia.
There you go. She's dyslexic. Yep. So she was bad too. You know, she knew the word. She just she explained it like the words just get jumbled up. Like she used the right words or the right letters, but it would all come jumbled out. You know, she was like that her whole life. She said since a little kid all the way up to in her, 20s, and now she's in her early 30, somewhere in there. She's young. I think she's 30. I kind of robbed the 21-year-old cradle then. I was in my 30s. Hey, you can't help who you fall in love with, man. That's the truth.
Right.
Like I said, my ex-wife's the fucking queen of the trailer court. That's as ghetto and white trash as you can come. Trust me. But she's beautiful, and I didn't give a shit about that. I really didn't. I didn't care. It didn't bother me. I wasn't in it for the money or the, you know, any of it. The funny thing is, my ex-wife, before she became my wife, she was actually my weed dealer. Honest to God, I swear to God, she really was.
Oh,
That's how we started hanging out, man. Because you don't see
that's
too many
tight.
hot chicks selling weed, right? So
Right,
I
right.
started buying my weed from her, and she started inviting me over. We
That's
became really
hilarious.
good friends for years before we ever got married or romantically involved. So that's usually how it works. But yeah, she used to be my weed dealer and hot chick with tattoos everywhere, piercings everywhere. It was my thing, man. I don't know. Some people hate it, some people love it. I'm just one of those guys that likes it.
Everybody in the chat room says, "Damn, King."
Uh,
Everybody's saying hi to Ruben. And everybody is saying hi to everybody, all three of us. If you guys want to say hi back to them, you guys, because I like to interact with the chat room too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you have to. And so Crimson is saying hi back to Ruben. And just saying hi, Ruben. And
I
hi.
say hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Nance. How are you?
Can you
Nance
go?
is telling hi. Nance, how are you?
Hello. Can you go?
I saw a
Nance.
it was a perfect match. You're absolutely right. When she was at my house when it got raided and she didn't rat me out, I knew that was going to be my wife right there, and she
There you
became my
go.
wife. So yeah, that tells you it was meant to be.
My ex was I thought she was Asian at first. I didn't realize she was Mexican. And I met her at what do you call it? A quinceañera. My dancing partner was her best friend, and they were outside the thing like towards the end of the night, and I went out there and was talking with them, and I was like, oh, this little broad's cute. You know what I mean? But if we would have went to like the same school, I would have never got with her.
Mm. See, and I didn't go to the same school. I didn't do any of that shit.
Yeah, and I even told her that. I'm like, yeah.
We were working at the same place, yeah. And she was a hot chick, and she one day she invited me over to her house. She said, because she found out I smoked pot all the time. She said, "You want to come over and hang out for lunchtime and smoke?" And then she became my weed dealer. Then she became my girlfriend. Then she became my wife. Then she became my baby mama. Then she became my ex-wife, and so on and so forth. But I got love for her, man. I'll always have love for her. Regardless of being married to her anymore or not, I'll always love her, no matter what. I watched my children be popped out of her cooch, and that's the nasty shit to watch. And I cut all the umbilical cords. I did all that shit. So anybody who can go through that, man, you got to give them props.
Right.
That's some rough shit. She did it naturally without all the drugs.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Nance, you can go ahead and call me. My phone does not hate you. Now I'm back on my other computer where everybody can hear you. So yeah, Nance, give us a call. Phone lines are open.
But we will.
612-612-9302. Please give us a call, Nance, or anybody else that wants to call.
We will if you don't call in and you make us ask you all night.
But you know what, though, guys? I don't mind being divorced. I love being single, and I'll never have another girlfriend. I'll never get married. I don't need to. I have too many kids as it is, and I have too many ex-wives as it is. I'm good. So in my 40s, I realized, fuck it, I don't need to be married. If somebody wants kids, they can be the stepmom to all mine, for a month or two. I ain't ever going to get married again.
Well, I just realized I got a gang of kids on this YouTube thing, so I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Hey, King.
So I'm cool with
Yes.
that.
Hey, King, I got some good news, man.
What?
Your package will be there Friday.
Okay, sounds good, Johnny. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. And I'm going to show everybody something. I'm going to show everybody what's going to go on our T-shirts right here. That's Gay Sloth. That's Gay Sloth, and that's gonna be on our t-shirts coming out.
Nice.
That's what me and Mr. X are talking about right there.
You need to put your mask on and put your face next to it. Let's see how good she did. Because that's really what showed how good she did when you put the mask on.
Okay.
Where'd you get that picture from? You blew it up at the store?
No, Paul did it for me.
Right on.
Oh, nice.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, PZ. Producer PZ coming in again.
Let me do this again real quick.
I agree, Melissa.
There you guys go.
That painting was badass. You got to come over more.
Joy Perry said, I'm 72 and I'm not married either.
There you go. Can you
put
guys
it
see
to the
it?
side, Johnny.
20 years.
No, side. Put the picture to the side of your face.
Yeah, side by side. There you go.
But now you're too close to it. Back up from the camera. There, right there. There you go. That's pretty damn good, man.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
So he's going to get.
I know we're getting a little off track, Johnny, and I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. To be personally,
I have ADD. Remember this.
Be honest with you, I'd rather talk about. Oh, let me tell you something. When me and Ruben did not hear from you, we couldn't get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Inge. That was really sweet of you telling me that's an awesome pick. I love that painting. Thank you, Melissa. So let me tell the chat room what's going on with that picture. So Mr. X thinks that'll be really cool if I make a T-shirt and put it on there and put it on a T-shirt. And he's got some ideas that he wants to go with it. But he wants to go with it. And
Baby Ruth with a question mark down below.
Yeah, get a Baby Ruth question mark.
No, yeah, write that on there, Johnny. Put Baby Ruth and then put a question mark on the T-shirt. I'd buy that fucker, really. Yeah. I love that movie. Hell yeah. I love the Goonies.
But you know what? I just don't want to get in trouble for that either. You know what I mean? Because I can't.
Because that's her original art, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Goonies. I'm talking about the movie Goonies, though.
Yeah, but you can put Baby Ruth on it, a question mark. That's not. I don't think that's trademark.
Maybe Mr. X would probably know or Mr.
Because it's not Babe Ruth, it's Baby Ruth.
Oh yeah, Babe Ruth. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about it afterwards. But yeah, I think you should put something like that on there.
Yep, I'm gonna show it again.
Danielle said the same thing. Pretty much like the King said. Her baby daddy was her weed dealer.
Yeah, I hear you.
There you go. How's that?
That shit is funny.
You know, the ex-wife I had before that, right? Because I was in my early 20s, I decided to be a dumbass, and this girl was a model for David's Bridal, if anybody knows who that is, right? She's fucking beautiful, right? And I ended up falling in love with her. My parents helped me buy a house when I was 21 years old, and my dad furnished it. My mom put the money down. So we moved in together, man, and it was my best friend's little sister is who I fell in love with and got married to. And I remember my buddies, my best friends at the time, they're still my best friends now, but they hated the fact, because anytime they'd talk shit to me, right, I would tell them this, you're just mad because I'm banging your sister. You know, and I could really say that because I really was banging their sister, right?
Yeah.
They used to get so pissed off at me because anytime they'd try and talk shit, because that's all we would do when we'd hang out. You know, we all talk smack to each other. That's why That's why I like Jim, Mr. X, because they get it, man. And same with you, Ruben. You know, it's just how we grew up, I guess. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But I guess some people didn't grow up that way. I did. I grew up talking smack. My mom calls it debating, but I call it talking smack. If you can't have that quick wit, and that's why I gotta give props to Mr. X and Jim, because they got some quick wit, and it doesn't come so easy for some people.
Right. Right.
So
hey King and Ruben. Some of the people
give those guys props on that.
Hey King Ruben.
I ain't no king.
Hey, Ruben's a king too. We're all kings, damn it. You know, I use that name because it's one of my children's name. That, by the way.
Oh, okay, right.
But what I was going to say is, most of the chat room was like, you can put "Hey, you guys" underneath there too. I can put "Hey, you guys" underneath his face, and on the back of the shirt too, I can put
Baby Ruth.
get a Baby Ruth, like get the Baby Ruth candy bar in the wrapper, like, and it's still in the wrapper, Baby Ruth, and then put question mark like that too. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd buy it, Johnny. I'm serious. Yeah. I'd buy one from you.
If you
I like that idea.
You
just got to be, maybe Mr. X or somebody knows more about the whole copyright shit on T-shirts and stuff. Because with the Baby Ruth, I don't know if Mars or whoever the hell owns Baby Ruth would come after you. But you could always put the words, not necessarily just a picture of the candy bar.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. Maybe they don't care, but I don't know how that shit works. I would imagine they'd probably get pretty pissed off if you put their candy bar on a T-shirt and sold it, though.
They're like, we want some of that cheddar.
Right.
Be careful with the trademarks of Goonies and stuff. Mr. X, but can't we use Gina's painting of Sloth? Because that's technically not the Goonies. I guess it is a Goonies character, but it's not really a picture of Sloth from the Goonies. I don't know how all that works.
I think like we can because it's like
Gina's original artwork, right?
Yeah, and it's not like an exact replica of the Gina's from whatever movie that was. Goonies.
Right, from the Goonies. I like the little Asian dude. Pinches a pow. Remember that little dude? Well, I told you, one of my closest buddies is a Vietnamese dude, and we used to say that shit to him growing up. Like my little brother's nickname still to this day is Mouth. We call him the Mouth from the Goonies because, the Mouth on that show. What's that actor's name? Corey Feldman. They called him the Mouth. Remember? Because he never shut the fuck up. He was always talking and always like, shut up. And that's really his nickname. In fact, his name in my phone right now is the Mouth. That's how bad it stuck. So, yeah, that was a good show, man. That was a good show. Oh yes, Eddie said the slick shoes. I remember that. Who had the oil in his shoes? Remember?
Yeah, he did. He was gangster.
I need to go watch that again. I haven't seen that show in so many years. But yeah, it was a good movie. Did you ever see the alternate endings where they had like a squid or some shit? They took it out. On the pirate ship there was like a giant squid. I don't know if anybody ever saw that. I think it was on the DVD or something. But it was an alternate ending that they had. I think they had a few of them.
Hey,
one of them was a squid in the water.
Can I read you guys something?
Yeah.
This is from Alyssa Moniz. She says, I was able to start your family tree. I figured out what I need to know. I've been able to follow the Yarborough line back to the 1700s.
Say what?
Yeah. Thank you. Mr. X is calling.
I thought she was going to be like,
Mr. X, you're on live. Where are you calling from?
Los Angeles.
That's right.
I was just listening to King Samoan. So, yeah, I thought I talked about the Goonies stuff on a show. Maybe this one or a different one the other day. But they had the alternate ending with the squid. They had the scene with, what's the guy's name? The older brother that was kind of a dick.
Josh
Brolin.
Yeah. Where he's going down the hill. And they're running down the hill with him, and they're holding on. The other bad kids are holding onto his hand when he's trying to catch up the Goonies on the little girl's bike. There's a scene where they go into a convenience store, and the kids who are like kind of mean to Josh Brolin. I mean, they're like teenagers. That scene exists, and then I talked about the monkey thing too with George Lucas. Do you remember? Was I talking about that on the show?
Yeah, you were talking about it on here.
You were.
Yep,
right.
It was. I do remember you bringing it up.
When you
so
said
all those scenes exist. I've never seen the monkey one. I think there's some stills of it, but
I've never seen the
definitely
monkey
the
one.
squid stuff exists because it looked horrible.
Right.
I mean, it's awful.
Was it, Mr. X? Wasn't that on like their DVD or something? I saw it somewhere to where the alternate.
I just saw it on a YouTube show because they're like, the things you don't know about it, or alternate cuts. They had some cuts that were for television, and they had a slightly different scenes because they weren't going to show certain things. So I think that's where I saw it was YouTube, and I was like, I've never heard of it. I just saw it like a year or two ago. I'm like, what the hell's all this stuff? 'Cause I like the Goonies too. that house just went up for sale too in Astoria, Oregon.
Saw that. It
They were
made some
selling that
big
house.
money, didn't it? Didn't it make over
I don't
$1
know. I
million,
don't know what
right?
it sold for yet. But this is what I was going to say about that character, the sloth character, or Baby Ruth, which I think is owned by Mars M&M. I might be wrong about that, but if you can, I mean, it's a painting of a mask. You know what I mean? But if it was altered enough, you might be, certainly if you didn't call it sloth, you might be able to get away with it. The person who's going to try to catch you on it is the company that sells the T-shirts, Teespring. Because I know the girl who kind of introduced me to Teespring, she had a thing with Nintendo controllers. And it's like, 80s kids, it was just like a basic, blank T-shirt. 80s kids love to play video games. She was making, and they kind of struck her off of Teespring for that T-shirt, for lack of a better term, because they said this is too much like a Nintendo NES controller. So my suggestion, this is what I was going to talk to Sloth about. Now, since you guys are talking about it, I'll talk about it now. But I would alter her photo or add something to it. You know what I mean? Like add like he's holding a stick of butter, or he's at a carnival with some ride behind him, or something like somebody just to add a little bit more, or a word where it says Johnny and not Sloth. You know what I mean? Like the hair is different. Kind of. So like it already is a little bit different, and then hopefully that won't get caught.
Right.
Because they're going to say that that's our character from the Goonies. Certainly if you call it Sloth, I mean, where'd you get that from?
So don't put don't put Sloth on there, huh?
No, because I would put Johnny Yarbrough or Johnny Yarbrough's channel, or
Johnny's TV.
Yeah, I mean, but the other thing is, this kind of runs in this territory of parody. If you're saying gay sloth, then maybe, but it's just going to be up to the T-shirt company, and they're going to be like YouTube, where they're like, okay, well, we don't want to get into this because they don't want to get sued. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like they're in the middle of it, so they're just going to say no. And if they said no over a fucking image of a Nintendo controller, like a drawing of a Nintendo controller, what would they do from a character from one of the most known movies of the 1980s? That's just like those are all the things that have. I actually wasn't even considering that when she drew that painting. I just thought this, like, you know what, this could be altered a little bit and be used, but who knows? They could still blow it off. But those are, we'll see when we get there. I mean, we'll find out.
Yeah.
And if they do, then you make something else, and that's fine.
Yeah.
True that. And this is from Teespring, Teabag.
Teespring, or I think they're just called Spring now. But the reason we suggest that one is because it's the easiest to do. It's the easiest to pop whatever the final image is, pretty much on anything from doggy doormats to fucking puzzles to women's T-shirts, baby clothes. I mean, you can pretty much put it on anything. Or we did a puzzle, so you can pop it on anything. I think you can have 15 different items from there, coffee mugs. Anything you want to choose to put it on, because people are saying, "Oh, we wanted a puzzle, so we made the puzzle. I want a coffee mug." Then you could choose the color, the T-shirt or whatever, and then you choose the prices, and then they do everything for you.
Hey, Mr. X, I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. X, but Stiffy the Englishman, I think, was deported. If I'm understanding.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think so.
Stiffy's boyfriend, the English dude, the King of England, was deported today.
Yeah, fuck. I'm sorry, Stiffy.
Sorry, Stiffy.
Oh, man.
I would never, whenever I see him again. Oh, my God.
What the?
Well, let me read this super sticker real quick. Miss Canada, thank you for the super sticker. It's coming at $3. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Stiffy, our heart goes out to you. And I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Lady. And I hope that he will come back home soon.
So, do you, Stiffy? Man, I'd love to hear her come up on either my show or your show. She's welcome to come up on the Mr. X when we do that, or your show, because I'm curious. I got a lot of questions. Number one, I wonder if it was because, did he become more visible being on Jim's show?
Right.
Something else happening, or did she have I mean, she just came home and it was,
Yeah, this is the thing, Mr. X. I know a little bit about deportation because they've deported a few people that I know personally, Islanders, Tongans and Samoans both. And normally they don't come after you unless somebody either reported them or they committed a crime and saw that they were illegal.
Salty.
and got caught. They don't just fucking randomly pick an English guy in the middle of the backwoods of wherever she's
here's
at.
the thing about Salty or anybody else. How would anybody know that he's legal or not legal? I mean, we got a lot of people who are, you don't know if they're.
I think they had said it.
Where
they said it on air.
Samoans talked about the islands all the time, and Samoa doesn't mean that he's going to get fucking deported or he's not an American. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, what is that?
Well, and that I think Ruben's right. I think they might have talked about it before. And they've talked about where they live and what exit they're off of. You got to remember, some of these people on YouTube ain't got shit better else to do than find all that shit out just to spy Jim Carrey. Yeah, remember? Okay.
Fuck, I hope. I mean, geez, oh man, hold on one second. Let me see if I can get Jim on the other line.
He said they did. Stiffy said they did say it on the show.
Yeah, but I guess you'll find out. Hold on one second. I got two phones up to my ear. So, Jim, it X here. I'm on the Gay Sloth on the other channel. I'm just hearing a report right now. They can't hear you, but the Stiffy's husband, the Englishman, got deported. Yeah, you heard about this? In the office. I haven't even had a chance to tell you about that. And from what you want to put me on the show? We'll talk about it real quick. Yeah, go ahead. I got two phones going. Yeah, go ahead. Well, did he send the link? I'll just come on. Just send the link. Did you send the link?
Well, yeah, I'll send the link. Do I send it to just the regular Jim Terry one?
Yeah, send it to the Jim Terry one. We'll both come up.
Okay, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, this is big news. All right.
I'm doing it right now.
Fuck, man.
We should probably get Stiffy up here as well.
Yeah, Stiffy, if you want to come up here too, text me 562-612-9302.
Stiffy, are you on the road? Or you at work?
Are you on the road, Stiffy? Oh my God, man. I got chills right now, bro. I got chills right now.
Well, I'm telling you, Johnny, I've dealt with this with us. I'm not going to say what family members. I'm not going to say which one of my family members had to deal with this, but yes, it was direct family members having illegal status who were born in Samoa, came over as little kids, and have been here their whole life other than being born in the islands. Never been back to Samoa in 20, 30 years. But yes, they were targeted by somebody directly, and that's how they found out. Right. I don't know. Maybe it's different in her neck of the woods, but at least, at least where I've seen, somebody had to directly call on them, or you had to have been arrested or got in trouble.
Right.
God,
you
know what? Can I say something? I want to say something. Why does everybody have to do some stupid shit?
We don't know this yet, Joe.
To other loved ones. You know what I mean?
Right. We don't. We don't know if that's what happened, Johnny. But
that's what happened, Johnny.
Without the full explanation from Stiffy or the Englishman, but when you put yourself out there on YouTube like they did,
there's Mr. X.
Unfortunately, their collateral damage.
I'll drop down
likely from somebody.
You don't have to jump down, Ruben. You don't have to jump down.
I gotta use the restroom. So
is Robbie in here?
No.
Robbie, no, he's not. I haven't seen Robbie.
I haven't seen him.
Where is that gay Robbie at?
Yeah, we got he's got us on something called offkilter.tv, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. But I'm looking at Jim's email as I click the StreamYard to come on here, and there's like 70 fucking emails of posts being approved, and Jim and I don't even know what the fuck that is.
What
the fuck is this?
He was talking about
like post approved. It's all these emails. I don't know what the fuck that is. Robbie, if you hear this, what the fuck is this, dude? Bullshit. What is this shit? Jim's gonna be pissed about that.
Uh-oh.
What is it? Is he?
I don't know. I have no idea. He's like, I'm going to put you on this offkilter.tv. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. Just call the show and tell us. And then I see tons of posts saying approved. And it's going to Jim's email. And I had to find the Gay Sloth thing. Jim's going to see it too, because he's going to come through that email to get in here. But so I didn't know. I guess Jim knew. I don't even know what it is, Buster. I have no idea what's fucking going on.
Like, I look at Off Kilter TV on YouTube, and it's like a channel with 200 subscribers.
I don't offkilter.tv. I'm not sure what it is, but all I know is Robbie has some ideas sometimes, like, hey, try this Discord, try this, try that, and we said no. Everybody's here. I don't want any more things.
Did Stiffy get a hold of Jim?
What's that?
Did Stiffy get a hold of Jim, and that's how Jim?
I think she talked. Jim was just saying on the phone to me that he talked to her this morning, but I was talking to Jim about other stuff with the show. He never mentioned Stiffy to me. I didn't ask. I didn't know till right now. When I first called in and we were talking about the shirt, I didn't know anything about it. No.
Right.
I mean, it's not like, you guys, not you guys, but some people think that Jim and I are like, hey, here's what's going on with this person. Here's what's going on with here's the plan, what we're going to do to Salty. I mean, none of that shit, that doesn't even happen.
Hey, Mr. X, she wrote this right here. Stevie wrote this. It's complicated, but the timing is the weirdest this could even happen years before now. It's a lot to explain.
I already told you, Johnny, how deportation works. I'm not bullshitting you. My fucking uncle and my aunt both had this problem.
Yeah, so Miss T is seeing this too. What is that, Miss T? What is that fucking bullshit? It's annoying.
Oh,
now I got to delete all that shit. Anyway, so let's talk about the Stiffy thing. I mean, number one, we didn't contribute to that, did we?
No.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I was just telling Johnny before you came up, Mr. X, unfortunately with the viewers liking Jim and you and promoting and supporting the show and going up there, they do become targets for assholes out there on YouTube that, want to take it out on Jim, but they're like, well, we can't get to Jim or Mr. X because we've tried for fucking 9 months and we couldn't do anything. Or
about 6, But here's the thing. I mean, as much as Stiffy's been on the show, I couldn't tell you what I have no idea what her real name is. I could barely tell you what even Diva Puss's real name is. Like, the only person I know his real name, other than Johnny and obviously Ruben, like, I don't know what your name is. I don't know what, I remember Diva Puss's first real name, like her first name. I don't know what her last name is. Like, I don't know what her name is. I couldn't even tell you what state she's in. I don't know. Like, I don't keep track of that.
Yeah, I can't remember her state either. I just remember her saying she lived off a highway somewhere close where Jim knew where it was by a gas station. I remember that stuff, but I don't know the exact.
I've confused her with Yelly before too, but it's like, a lot of these people, like, I know of them, but I don't know what their names are or anything. Well, I mean, obviously I know Salty and, a few of the degenerates, their names I know. I know a lot about them.
And she said he overstayed his visa. And that's exactly, overstaying your visa is exactly what my aunt and uncle did. They came here on a green card from Samoa.
Yeah, but they don't
when they were a baby. For them. Well, that's what I'm saying. They came here as a baby, and they were only supposed to be here a couple of years.
Right.
They didn't have this problem until somebody in our family got arrested, and they were in the vehicle. They ran all their names.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that because he was such a good sport. Everybody likes this guy. Everybody thinks he's a good guy. She's a good, obviously, grandmother doing all the stuff that she did, the craziness that she put herself through.
And I don't think you can marry somebody now to stay in the country. I'm pretty sure they did away with that a long time ago.
I'm 100% sure because I've talked about this, and Jim and I have talked about this. Dr. Bailout. He had a serious girlfriend in the Philippines. This is how I know all that stuff with what's his name's bullshit. The Kurt Wadsworth Philippines thing. He went over there. In fact, I drove him to the airport. It was national news. It was on CNN when that Philippines airline almost exploded. He sent me pictures of, like, he was right next to the fucking thing, like the jet that exploded. They got up over the Pacific and they turned right back around. He called me up and he's like, dude, I'm back. Can you come get me? And I'm like, ugh, I thought you were going to the Philippines. He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, do me this favor. Walk out of LAX and walk into that fucking In-N-Out burger right there on Sepulveda and I'll come and get you there. I'm not driving into that motherfucker. He's like, I'm in the middle. I don't know if you know, but LAX is like a giant U. Okay, it's like a U, and at the bottom of the U is Tom Bradley, which is the international section. The number one is Southwest, which is, I do this all the time when I fly Southwest. I just walk out of there and walk like a little back road, and I go to In-N-Out and I have somebody pick me up there. I was like, dude, just go to In-N-Out. He's like, I'm in the middle of the U. And I'm like, ugh. So my time was wasted, but he almost got exploded. So I know this guy went there. That's a little side story. He got this lady, and in 90 days, he had to marry her. he had to have a attorney who speak Tagalog, which is the Filipino language. And, so they would go through it and all this. And I suggested the prenup, of course. And, because this guy's got a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
So he did the prenup. He didn't want to do it until he talked to his mom. But at first he talked to me. I was like, dude, listen, you've been here with me since like 2005 in LA. I mean, we've earned all this shit together, and she's becoming a citizen. Now, This is what I'm talking about with things like, she doesn't know how to drive a car. She doesn't know how to, swim. She doesn't know how to ride a bike. I mean, it's very limited to the, just doesn't have the experience of doing that stuff. So she comes over here, and he had to marry her real fast. And I felt so horrible because I was at the wedding in Vegas. It was at the Tropicana. And her aunt came in from San Diego or something. I mean, it's just like like you talk about, King Simone, like all these Filipino people are all like cousins or related somehow. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Even though I guess it's a much bigger island. And she was so humble. And so like, she thought I put them in a suite in the Excalibur, and she thought she was like literally staying in a castle. I felt horrible. I was like, is this good enough? I mean, so they had like a corner suite that I got them in the Excalibur, and she got her wedding shoes at the Marshalls next to the MGM Grand. She's like, nah, $30 is too much for shoes, for wedding shoes. So that shows you how poor it is.
Right.
So like a wedding for her at a Tropicana would be like, me going to the fucking Hearst Castle or Bel Air or something like that.
Right.
So I was like, she's like, this is too much. And I was like, actually, it's not. So
yeah, people don't realize the big difference when you get somebody like that who's really fresh off the boat, is what we call them.
So she's definitely. He did this within the last year, so I know it's and it was a big thing, and I was kind of like seeing it through him. He's like, "Yeah, dude, you could go to the Philippines," and I'm like, "What the fuck am I?" He's like, "You could go over there." And I'm like, "Dude, there's plenty of women in America that want the X. What am I going there for? I don't even want to fly to fucking Vegas."
Right.
So, he just says that it's a different culture where it's like white guys are like celebrities there. And, this is not a guy who is, a Brad Pitt, but he went over there, and he said at one time he pulled out like $100, and they treated him like he was a fucking millionaire. He's like, here, go buy some food. And they went to go buy some food for like the family bought like all this food to cook on a Saturday. And they were looking at him like he was a multimillionaire. And the guy's not broke, but he's not a millionaire,
Mr. X, another thing that might have, I don't know, Stiffy's situation, but another thing is if the Englishman recently went back to work and put his name and all that information on paperwork, that's another way that ICE could have picked him up.
I mean, who knows? And it's a different situation because obviously Dr. Bailout started that from the day she got here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was already up front being taken care of, and like
so
they were already
doing married. She can be, or he could stay here if they do end up getting married now, or no?
That I don't know because he's been here. Like she didn't come. I think it was like I don't know what it's called, like not honeymoon permit or there was something like where you're gonna get married, like. You have to do it within 90 days. So, I mean, he's been here. I mean, hell, he's been on the show for more than 90 days.
90-day fiance show.
That's it.
I met that Samoan dude in Vegas, actually, Asuelu. There was a Samoan guy on there. Well, married another Samoan white chick. Yeah, they live there in Utah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a real thing. And I know he just went through it, but they were talking about doing it before the pandemic. And then that stopped everything. And they were waiting for things to open back up. So, like, I remember, because I talk to him all the time. He's one of my better friends. And, I hate to say best friends because I sound like a fucking 5-year-old girl. But these are my best friends. But he's one of my better friends I've known for 20 plus years. Right. And I could tell you that he went through it. I advised it. And then he had to pay for everything. And then, of course, you have a situation, too. And this is what people don't realize about this overseas stuff where, like they're not getting their teeth taken care of. So when they get something done, they get it like when it needs to be done today. Like it's in pain today. So you have like 30 plus years of like nothing being taken care of or a couple surgeries that need to be done. And I'm like, well, and I said it to him. I know it sounds dick. I was like, it's like you got a car that you got a lot of work on. You know what I mean? Like she's a very old 30, even though she's got no kids, but it's like, it's even so weird in the Philippines. And I've said this before on different shows where if somebody dies, you bury the person and there's limited space, you got to come and dig up the bones 5 years later. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? Or they just, it's very Catholic, but then there's a lot of sex, but it's very poor. I mean, I could take over that country, like I said, another 6 hours, but that's another one. But
they do that a lot in the European countries too. I met a chick at a club one time. She was married to a white dude in Vegas, but they had they did it just for that, more or less. But she would always go to the clubs and pick up dudes, and she was from like Slovakia or somewhere over there in Russia, an area, by the Ukraine and all that. And she said that's pretty popular. They do that same thing that the Filipinos do.
They said that. This is going to sound crazy, but they said that white dude's sperm is like diamonds over there. It's that valuable. That's exactly. I was like, right. What? What are you saying? And they're like, yeah, because I guess being darker skin in that culture shows, and they have lightener and cream and all that, shows that like you're outside more of a worker, and they want to be lighter. And I'm like, well, in the United States, if you're tan and this and that looks healthier. And they're like, yeah, that's because you go on vacation. And I'm like, I never thought about it like that, but I guess,
I guess that kind of makes sense in their eyes. Yeah.
Hey, you're out hanging out. Anyway, it's weird.
Let me cut in for a minute, guys. I just want to say this. Everybody in the chat room is saying this right here. Free the Englishman. That's right.
Free the King of England.
Free the Englishman. He needs to come back home to Stiffy. Stiffy, you're welcome. Anytime you want to call me or
Stiffy,
call me.
That's horrible. I'm so sad to hear that, because he's, I got to really like that guy. I know we started off a little bit rough, trying to pirate some of the content, and I struck you guys, but and we figured it out after that. And then you guys came on the show and were great contributors, great sports. You got the PlayStation. You've been nice over here to Johnny Sloth. I mean,
I don't know if there's anything they can do, Mr. X, at this point, because he's already in custody.
And I don't know the guy, but we're not talking about a guy that sounds like he's some hardened criminal who's causing problems here. You know what I mean?
Right.
They always say they're not bringing their best and their brightest over. I don't think that they're talking as far as criminal wise. Maybe they're not talking about him. I'm not talking about the brightest part, but he's never done anything wrong, in other words. You know what I mean? Not that I know of. But maybe there's something I don't know. I just hope he's okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Is Jim coming on the deck?
I don't know. I don't know if he is.
Well, I know, like, when they deported my aunt, they sent her right away. They didn't hold her long. She was only in detention a couple of days, and she was gone back to the islands. They more let you go, and that's it. You don't get shit, pretty much. You pretty much get pushed off a plane. I don't know if they do that with England. That's what they do when you get sent back to Samoa and Tonga, though. They don't let you bring nothing.
Hey, King, Stiffy wrote this. He can fight it, but I have to able to get the info to him for and she was asking for how do I do that?
Well,
he can fight it, but I have to be able to get that the info to him for how to do that.
Well, yeah,
so how he's able to fight it. He doesn't know how to fight it, I guess is what she's saying, right?
Oh.
Well, her first thing is she's going to have to hire an attorney, like Mr. X said. That's the number one thing. You're not going to get anywhere without an attorney. So right. I don't know if you have the money for it, but I would find an attorney that specializes in deportation laws in wherever country he's from, England or the UK or wherever it is. That's what I would do personally first. And then secondly, getting it to him, you're going to have to find out where he's at, what ICE detention center he's at, and go from there.
Yeah, I would just, this is my suggestion. Go directly to an attorney. Don't listen to anybody on YouTube.
Well,
don't listen to me.
I agree.
Chat.
Mr. X, Equalizer wrote this. Equalizer wrote this right here. He says, Stiffy, I have an attorney. Something. Can you see that? Can you see that? On the screen?
I have an attorney friend who specialized in immigration law. I'm sure I could get him to talk to you and understand any questions you may have. I mean, even to get a consultation real fast is worth it. Now, I know Equalizer's somewhere in the Utah, Nevada region, but and I think that she's on the East Coast. It might vary state to state, but even to have a quick conversation would be worth it. So, yeah, get them in touch if you can. That's what I would suggest.
I do know one thing, though, is anytime you get caught up by the 5-0, the police, you got to shut the fuck up and not say anything. Always. That's what my attorneys told me. He said, no matter what it is.
When they sent the people back that back to Samoa, they fly them back on Like, whose dime is that on?
Yep. It's on the federal government's dime.
Oh, so the federal government pays. What kind of plane do they put him in? I mean, they put him in like.
Well, my aunt
goes
told me
there?
it was just there's only a few planes that go to Samoa. So she more or less told me, because we still talk to her. She's still in Samoa. She never came back because they won't, it's hard for people to come back and forth. So she told us more or less they had her and like a whole bunch of other islanders, not just our island of Samoa, but other islands as well. And they more or less just take you, put you on that plane, let you go off to whatever island you're from, and they don't give you anything. Whatever's on you, like your shirt and your clothes, that's all you get. You don't, anything that you had in America, it's gone. You'll never see it again. So yes, I don't know what exactly. I could probably call her and ask her what kind of plane, but I would imagine it was just a small.
I was just curious. I mean, I wouldn't bug her if you don't have. I mean, I'm just curious if you knew, like, if there was like one plane that goes there that deports everybody, once a month or once a week, or if it's just a regular.
Right.
I'm just curious.
I can ask her. That is kind of interesting to know, actually. And I actually know two people that deported. Another Samoan dude that I worked with doing construction got deported for getting in fights all the time and going to prison and jail. The government got tired of him and eventually sent him back. And that's getting more and more common with gangbangers and people who cause trouble in a whole bunch of different states.
How much of my tax dollars paid for this? How much did I pay for it, in other words?
Right. Well, and they got tired of him always getting in trouble, constantly getting arrested. He went to prison, came back, still getting, and eventually they got tired of him and sent him back. In fact, there's a big documentary. I think Vice did it, Mr. X. About how the island.
I mean, I've never really. I mean, I got so many things backing up that I need to watch, but it seems like I'm on this thing more than I am watching TV these days. But
yeah, me too. But yeah, if you ever run into it, you'll see it. Vice did a big thing about.
Is it like does it look like a prison, or what does it look like the detention center or whatever they call it?
No,
like, where do they take you to? Yeah,
it's just a detention center, some federal holding center.
Does it look like a dorm or?
No, not that I saw. The ones I saw on there, it looked just like a regular jail.
Damn.
Right, and then they sit in there until they go to court. The judge deports them. Then they get pushed on a plane and they're out of there. But yeah, there's
got
a whole
phone call coming in.
Right.
Got a call coming in. Equalizer, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Sloth?
Nothing much. We're just discussing what's going on with Stiffy.
Yeah, get her to call in so you can get her number and then text her mine.
Okay, I sure will, Equalizer.
We can definitely inform her through my buddy.
Okay.
So
I sure will.
that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Equalizer.
Good dude to know. Seems
Hey,
like
Stiffy,
give me different buddies.
Stiffy, give me a call. Stiffy, give me a call at my number at 562-612-9302, because that was Equalizer, and Equalizer wants me to give you his number to you so you guys can reach base and talk. Okay, Stiffy, if you can hear me out there. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
Mr. X, the crazy thing is I worked with a lot of Hispanics in Vegas, right? And I had a ton of those guys who would get deported, and they would get deported back down to Tijuana, and they would be almost every time. And I knew tons of guys like that because, I got really close with a lot of the Hispanics, and not just the Hispanics, all over Central America, South Americans.
Yeah.
And they would bring me into their house. I went and partied with them and everything, but those guys would tell me about how they would get $50 could buy you every paperwork you needed. If you needed a birth certificate, $50. You needed a social security card, $50. And the funny thing, we were at a Christmas party one time, and I don't know how it got brought up, but somebody had brought out their social security card, and a bunch of the Mexicans were all sitting at the table, and they all started pulling out their cards. Some of these guys had cards, the numbers hadn't even been given to anybody yet. Like the person hasn't even been born to get that number yet. Some of them were like off colored. Some of them looked exactly alike. I guess, I don't know. I don't know if he had some sort of fake paperwork. Hopefully not, because then they're going to really nail you for identity theft and all that shit. So if he just overstated visa, I think if she can get an attorney and get that process going now, she might be able to stop him from getting deported back. And it's England, so he can always come back
I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know enough about it.
Right.
Kool-Aid, there's a Samoa and there's an American Samoa. So there's actually a couple different islands. The American
Right.
Samoa, I looked up, it has golf courses and shit. It looks actually pretty developed.
It is. It's not a third world country anymore. It's an American territory. So Western Samoa is where my family's from.
That's the bigger one, right?
Yes. Yep. And that's still the third world country. So there's Samoa and then Western Samoa. And then you have multiple islands in Western Samoa. So you got Savaii is another island. Apolu is another, there's multiple islands, I should say.
So can you go into the American Samoa, or is it like the United States? Let's just say you're from the big island, Samoa. Okay. Can you just go into the American Samoa, or do they keep you out like the United States would?
They're supposed to keep you out, but the way you can take a boat from Western Samoa to American Samoa and you never have a problem.
You can just walk in there.
Yep, exactly. You can just walk in. The reason I know because I did it. My family did that boat ride. We went there and we went to Savaii, the other island, because Savaii has black sand beaches. I don't know if you've ever been to a black sand beach.
No,
but there's black sand beaches there, and my family wanted to go check those out. So it was pretty cool. I'd never seen one before. That was the first time I'd ever seen one. But yeah, you can absolutely do that. You're not supposed to because it is an American territory. But I was telling you before, a lot of people will take the boat there, stay in American Samoa for a while, get established, and then they'll fly back to the mainland, is what they call it, which is here in America.
Wow.
So that's how a lot of islanders get across. But, a lot of islanders, they say there's more Samoans outside of Samoa than there is inside the island. A lot of New Zealand, Australia, mostly in the West Coast in America, though.
All right. Well, I'm going to come down. I guess Jim didn't come up, but I'm sorry to hear that, but hopefully, it was a really nice equalizer to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do without information? I mean, obviously that's kind of a developing situation.
Yeah, that's the hard part, not knowing. We don't really know what the situation was. If somebody, went after him or what, or if they picked it up because he just got a job and he filled out all the paperwork and, the IRS and all that shit. The government don't play.
And I like Stiffy and this and that. And I like, obviously, the Englishmen. But, I mean, I know that we're in a country that's, I've never been the let's keep everybody out type guy, this and that. But we don't know what happened here. You know what I mean? I'm not. I just like them as people, and I want them to do well, and I don't want anything. But like, we don't know what the story is here, so I'm reserving all judgment from anything. You know what I mean? Because the first thing you're like, he did something. I'm just saying as an example, because people say we did something and we did nothing. You know what I mean? It's like the opposite of this here. Right. So I mean, I hope it isn't anything, because he does seem like a good guy, but you never know. But there are rules and stuff.
Yeah, there is.
Unfortunately, good or bad. I mean, it can help you or it can hurt you, but that's why
the crazy thing about this whole thing is how is it that the border down below south of us is open to pretty much anyone and everybody, but they're fucking with some English dude who's been here for who knows how long.
Well, that's the big mystery. I mean, is it through YouTube? Did he do something? Was it just his time? Did he, it was the wrong place, wrong time. It could be there. That's the $1 million question. But yeah, there's people that are coming up that are obviously, to quote somebody, very bad people. Coming up and doing crazy things. And here's the thing about Tijuana. I've been down there so many times. I don't know. I guess there's maybe some back roads entrance or something like that. You can't just walk over the border. You could walk into Tijuana, but you can't. Coming back to the United States is not easy. Even if you're a citizen. Well, you go through that fucking line,
Right.
It takes a while unless you have a Century Pass and they look at you and they ask you some questions and this and that. But unless there's some area that I don't know of, but I'm talking about the San Ysidro border, or what's the other one? There's another one that's down the road that I've never actually been through. But
is that the one right there in San Diego? The main one where the bridge is, where you got all the military dudes standing there with their guns?
San Diego, National City, San Ysidro. So San Ysidro is the very, very last town. But I've talked about this I did a show about it on Quintella and just my experiences of going down to Tijuana and Ensenada and some of these different places. But rules are rules. I just hope whatever the rule is, it favors them, because they're good people and you want to see them, do well and not have any craziness. But who knows? You know what I mean?
Did you ever ride the the taxis or the bus in Mexico there?
No.
I made that mistake of riding with the taxi because I've been on the taxis in Tijuana and I've rode the buses. You know, the tourist bus that goes in and out. I've done
No, I
both.
never did that. I mean, every time we would go over there, we would walk over. You like talk about the bridge, walking to the west side of the freeway, go over the bridge in San Ysidro. We park right at that Carl's Jr. In fact, I used that live I did. I had pictures of everything. Like I had Google Map pictures where I was talking about this is where you enter. This is how this works. Here's the casinos, and we would go in there and then cross back to the east side of the freeway, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the 5, but it's like the 1 when you go into Mexico. Anyways, the point is on the east side, which is where you enter back into the United States, west side of the freeway is where you enter to Mexico, east side is where you come back in the United States. There used to be like last get out of town Caliente sportsbook. So we'd be like steps from the border, like where you get in line to go to the border and fucking, you just bet there. It looks like a little like bar almost.
Huh.
And then we started going to the hotel.
That whole setup? Is it still like that now? I haven't been there for years. Is it
I haven't
still
been
like
there
that
since
now?
before I left for New Orleans in like 2012. The last time I went there, we started going to a place called the Pueblo Amigo Casino, which is something else I've also talked about. It's this really nice looking kind of resort casino, but it's a hotel, and they have buffets and, you know, a little book in there. It looks like something out of Orange County. It's like a 3 or 4 star hotel in Tijuana, believe it or not, which is pretty high considering, you know what I mean? So, we'd bet there and then just walk back. Or if it was nighttime, then we'd take a cab and it was like, they just drop you off at the line. It's like a $5 cab ride from like the door,
Right.
you know? So we did that a handful of times. And I've also walked it before, but yeah, I've also walked into the main street, the Revolution Street at night, but with a bunch of people, like 10 dudes. You know, nobody's going to do anything to you.
So when you came back from Mexico, did you do that same thing? Walk in, you know, and they ask you like U.S. citizen.
Yeah, you walk up to a line. There's there's a giant line, and there's a lot of like Mexican citizens. Like I can skip you up to the front of the line for $5. You know, they're running little scams and shit like that. And then
chicle.
Well, that's going in, but going back to the United States side. And there's some final places you can get alcohol or pharmacies or whatever. And they basically say to you, you got to stand in this line. And then it depends what time you're going there too. Like after the football games on Sunday night late, there's not many people there. So, you know, but if you try to get over there Saturday afternoon or something, or Saturday evening, yeah, good luck. So they have 2 ways. You could just wait in the main line, or they have something that's called Sentry Pass, which is kind of like a pre-TSA pass where it just skips the entire line. I never had that because I never went over there enough. But we would wait in the line. You get up there and you get up to the front. They look at your ID and they're like real bland and vanilla. Like, what are you doing down in Mexico? And I'm like, I don't know, betting on a few games with my buddy. You know, me and Dr. Bailout went down there, betting on some games, taking all the Mexicans' money. You know, we'd say something like that. And like they would never lie. You bringing anything? Do you want to declare anything? No. I'm taking their money. You know, that's about it. And they, okay, go. You know, and sometimes they would scan your bag and sometimes they wouldn't, you know, and that was it. And then you just walk out and then you're right there in that kind of plaza area. And then behind that Jack in the Box is a giant parking lot. You jump in the car and there's literally an exit to get back on the 5 to get back to Los Angeles.
Did you ever, Mr. X, when you've been in California quite a while, did you ever do have you ever heard of this or done this? California used to have party lines where you could call a number and it'd be people all over the place, all talking on the party line together. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it. I never did it though. I've only been here since 2000. Only been here since 2004. No, I never did that. I heard of it, but I think that's a little bit older than me.
It was a little before that. Yeah, it was a little before that because we used to do that all the time. You know, that was like the YouTube of the day. They had a Samoan party line that you would call the number. It was actually a 562 number. You'd call it and you'd be bullshitting, and it would be mostly Samoans. It'd be like creepy ones, and it'd be chicks pretending like they're dudes pretending like they're chicks on there. But yeah, we used to do that all the time. The party lines.
I mean, we did that with AOL. That's the earliest I can remember when AOL in the chat rooms. I was talking about this too. The AOL 3.0 I always joke about, where you get on through the phone line. And it was real slow, and then you get in the chat, and I could tell. I don't know about. I mean, we're talking probably like late 1990s, early 2000s. I'd have to look up the year, what year AOL. I don't know why, but AOL 3.0 is the one that's burned in my mind.
I remember that AOL.
And there were actually like real women on there that were hot. It wasn't like mostly like these weirdos now 20 plus years later. They're like, hey, you know, I'm a woman. I'm gonna catfish you, and I'm gonna try to. I mean, not that they could do whatever they want, but fucking with people is kind of weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really doing anything. Like, there were gay ones too. If you want to go to the gay chat room, go to that. Whatever. But this was like
I remember
catfishing and pretending to be
AOL
people.
ones.
It's fucking goofy. It's like it's a waste of everybody's time.
You remember AOL for a long time? They would put those discs out for everybody to put in their computer and install it. They were everywhere. You could find an AOL disc and you would install it on your computer, get AOL, and get the internet. I remember those chat rooms though, because you could pick like what part of the, like if you were in Florida, you would pick this part, or if you were in Utah, you'd go to this area. I remember going to those chat rooms though, but
it looked like AOL 3.0 was like the 1990s. It's saying like the mid to late 90s. So probably like 97, 98, 99 is the years that I'm talking about. So now we're talking 24, 23, 40 years at the boot. Like if I would have had a kid at that point, that kid's like 25 now, you know,
right.
Who knows what would have happened in one of those hookups. But yeah, there was a lot of, you know, strange people. There was a lot of hot girls. It just depends. You meet different people. I mean, I was also in a pretty decent area too, you know.
See, and I was lucky because when I was in high school and my later years, my mom was going to college again to get another degree. So we were lucky. We had the university internet, right? And they ended up trying to ban me so many times because I was going on, and this was the beginning of like, you know, the internet wasn't really big there. So I was going on like porno sites on the university, and it wasn't like a video you watch now, you know, it was like the screen would take fucking 30 seconds to load a picture. It was like coming in.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
I got a quick story for you on that. So there used to be a site. I don't even know if it exists anymore. I was in college and they had a computer lab. So it was like kind of before, we're talking late 1990s. Mm-hmm. So they had computer labs where people were learning how to type and how to use a computer. This was actually a college course. So, I mean, we're talking 97, 98, 99. People were still getting into how to do basic Photoshop or how to do, you know, word processors or anything, or just learning how to type. But you can get on the internet in these labs, and I don't remember. I don't think I had a cell phone until I was like my second year of college, like 98, 99. And people were getting on porn sites and all kinds of craziness. But there was this website called rotten.com. It was just gross stuff. So what I did was, I was thinking about dropping the class because like I can type as fast as somebody could talk like a stenographer. Like that's how good I am at typing. I just been doing it for years. Now I might have some errors, but you know, I can type really fast. So this teacher's like, you know, you need to take this course. You need to do. And I was like, well, I already know how to type. What the fuck am I? You have to do this for a prerequisite. So, you know, I got a little pissed off and I felt a little disrespected. So what I ended up doing was I went into that because it was always open. Like it's a small college. So like you can go in there anytime. So I would go into this college when it was kind of like, it was in a library. It's like in a basement of a library. And I would go on to rotten.com and I'll never forget, they had a parrot. They, you know, like Toucan Sam type parrot. And it was perched on a guy's hard dick. Okay. And I went on to every computer on rotten.com and like you have the screensaver up, but as soon as you open that up, like that's the first picture you see. As soon as you hit that mouse, it was on like, so I spent like probably 15 minutes of my time and went through all 30 computers and put it on every single one. Yeah, and there's no cameras, and some sicko was down here. And of course, you know, it's just, I dropped the class anyways. What's the difference? But yeah, there was some sick stuff. I mean, but I think that was pretty tame if you know what that site is. You know, like a parrot on a guy's penis, whatever, you know. But I remember like that was going around, like, who did this? They had
crazy. Everything on that site. Didn't they have like everything that was just nasty, like car crashes and anything you could see that was just nasty and horrible?
Yeah,
like bodies.
I wasn't a bad kid. I was already an adult. It's
everybody who looked at that site, if they were.
Yeah, I mean, I was already like 19 at this point. Some of you people were already parents. I mean, so you know, a bad kid. What are you talking about? 1999. That's when I think the Blair Witch Project was coming out. So, yeah, we're talking about a different time frame, but I don't think it was that. That's pretty innocent compared to, some of the craziness that's gone on out there. But, it's more like an attitudinal, like, hey, I'm going to show you. But I don't think it hurt anybody, Yeah, autopsy photos and dead bodies. There was all kind of craziness on there.
That Blair Witch Project, man, is that true that they barely made that with any money? Well, I've watched it, so it makes sense. But
yeah, and I've talked about that before too. I met those. I met them. The movie's garbage. They're nice guys. There's two guys who directed it. They're both from Orlando. I tried to get it at UCF 1999, the year after it came out, which I didn't get into that film school, University of Central Florida. They did a kind of a show that I worked on with them in 2003 before I left. I was the main character for it. It was something for Sega, for a football game that was coming out, for an NFL football game. So they're kind of doing a commercial for it. I worked with the main guy. His name's Eduardo Sanchez. He's one of the two directors. He's like a 6'7" Mexican guy or Cuban guy. I think he's Cuban, actually. Nice guy, good dude. But their goal was to do a comedy after that.
$100, it's going to go to $200.
They got $3 million each, and they set up offices in Orlando. I probably told this story a few times. Set up offices. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but and they were going to do a comedy film. They turned down the prequel at the time for The New Exorcist. They turned that down. They should have taken that. Okay, they did some kind of thing where they were working to get this comedy done, and it never happened. And Eduardo Sanchez went on to do some stuff like on the El Rey network. He directed a Bigfoot movie called Exists, which came out. I mean, decent films, decent TV shows. I mean, not huge stuff. Be like, oh, who cares about the El Rey network? But it was like Dusk Till Dawn, the series. Like he would have directed a few episodes. So I mean, decent guys, but like, who are these people? Like they've never done anything. I think that guy's had a pretty successful career. You know what I mean?
I said everything's gone.
That Blair Witch, I don't know. I don't understand how that thing got so popular. I thought it was ridiculously stupid.
It's the marketing. When that was happening, I was working at, who gives a shit? I was working at Home Shopping Network in the late 1990s on their live television show. And I remember a guy walking around saying, "This is real." He had a VHS of it. 1999. It's like my 1985 for Back to the Future. Like everything happened in these couple years. So in 1999, like here, this is real. And all these people who are film school kids or, filmmakers or young filmmakers or in the entertainment industry one way. I mean, I don't consider Home Shopping Network entertainment. It's more sales. But I also was working there as a teenager for some of the haters out there who said I'd never done anything. What were you doing as a teenager? Not working on a live television show, that's for sure. But anyway, so the point is they were walking around, but their marketing got it to a point and got into Sundance. Speaking of Utah, this kind of comes back around, that they got an agent and they promoted it. The filmmakers did like this was a real thing. And when people were watching it, they thought it was real. It's not a good movie. The difference is when Paranormal Activity came out 15, 20 years later, they did the same thing, but that guy continued on with horror and had it done correctly. Blumhouse. So there's a huge difference there. That's why he exploded doing the same concept years later.
Right.
I've never even seen the Paranormal Activity, but there's like 50 of them.
It's whack.
Yeah, it's the same kind of shit. Like, oh, that now it's ghosts or whatever it is. But they sold it on the fact that this was real. I think they got 9 million and made like 60 or 70. They got 3 each. There was 3 main guys. And from what I understood, after going through that run of film festivals and meeting people, the guys wanted to settle down, get married. One of them wanted to have a kid, and they pissed through the money. 3 million's not that much, right. Especially when you're trying to make another film.
Well, I'm sure.
And I think one of them died in a helicopter crash too. I think the cinematographer died. I never met him. So, yeah. The hater, the one hater out here. I'm just making all this up. I don't know any of this. It's not like I don't have a picture in the other room with me on set with these guys. I'm just making it up because I don't know what I'm talking about. He wants to be an actor in Hollywood.
Mr. X,
okay, motherfucker.
All that.
Okay.
Speaking of that, Mr. X, What drew you to that, wanting to do all that stuff, like producing movies and all that shit? Was that something you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I love movies. I've always loved movies. I love, the thing with sports. It's like when you play football or basketball, especially football. I mean, you played football or rugby. It's like an ultimate team game, but there's like kind of a leader on it. But this is an ultimate team game too. It's not really a sport, but it requires a lot of people to do it. And the great thing about it, like a sport, you can go back to week 2 in the NFL and say, this is what I did wrong, or this is what I did right. So I love movies, but I can also get better at what I do. You know what I mean? And I can see 10 years ago the mistakes that I made, or even the mistakes I made in that opening. Like, I should have been smarter to go out there with a fucking fog machine and think that was going to work in that windy ass desert. What an idiotic move. Now I know next time. We CGI'd it in, whatever, and it's not that important. I mean, nobody really cares. But like, I would have liked to do that out there, So
knowing your background, do you watch movies and like critique it from a producer / movie person, or can you just sit back and relax?
No, I can sit back and watch it. I mean, it depends on what era it is. So here's the thing. I played sports just like Jim, and everybody had a TV productions class, and we made little segments, and I enjoyed the part, but I was very shy as a high schooler, and I obviously came out of my shell more in college, and I enjoyed playing in front of a live crowd, but I enjoyed also shit talking a live crowd like Jim did. And more in college. The only other way playing in front of a live crowd, but I enjoyed also shit talking. Yeah, mute that. So the only other So the only other way to do that is through media and entertainment. And I really enjoy, the storytelling of putting that all together. Like what you guys saw in that opening, which some dickhead said he could do that out there on a cell phone. By the way, my camera is more expensive than his house. That's
Who
a fact.
said what? What happened?
Oh, we're talking about filmmaking and so forth.
Who said they could do that with a cell phone?
Oh, Sleeper said he could do what I did in that opening with his. Oh, you're going to put a cell phone on a DJI Inspire? Okay, go ahead. Go put your cell phone on a drone. My camera is more expensive than his track home. By the way, now I know what Mission Kitchen means too, by the way. Anyway, the point is this.
Those fuckers get that expensive? I didn't know that those.
Some of those lenses are $100,000. Look at Leica lenses and so forth. Ingenue lenses. So yeah, I mean, Jim and I, our morning announcements in high school was on a television, like a news station, and we both were in different classes at different times. We made segments, and when I didn't play sports anymore and I got injured, it was already hard for me to play college athletics. Let's just be honest. Like, those guys are phenomenal athletes, especially in basketball. Okay. So I was always interested in film. So I said, the only way for me to learn this is to go from the bottom to the top. Would be, learning acting, then learning filmmaking, learning cameras, and then putting it all together. But I think I need to be on camera, because how can I tell somebody else to do it if I can't do it myself? So
that makes sense.
That's the basis. So yes, I've always been, and Jim's the same way. It's just Jim continued doing sports, and I went into the media stuff. You know what I mean?
I had to continue to be an all-around fucking personality. But what I need to tell everybody listening here and the 80 to 90 people watching right now is that I'm here to give the story. Today has been one of the most bizarre days in YouTube history. I get a call this morning at around 10 a.m. From Stiffy.
Yeah.
Calling me screaming and crying because her man got taken away. They threw him over the proverbial wall. And from there, it just got worse and worse. But before we get into Stiffy and her man, which we will get in full on Jim Terry TV and Jim Terry TV 2, Johnny, I have a little gift for you.
Oh, what do you got?
Yeah, it's a little gift for you. A gift that will make this show the most listened to and viewed programming in the history of your YouTube channel. Now, I want to give a little bit of a tease here. First of all, who all is here? I see we got Mr. X, we got the Gay Sloth. Who else is here? Hater of white chicks? Beater of white chicks? What's his name?
Hey, let me answer this question real quick from Sofa. Sofa, to answer your question, I prefer both. But here's the thing. If you put me into somebody else's show and just like dance monkey, I'm not really interested in being in camera on that. But if I can, here's how I like being on camera, to answer your question, Sofa. She's got a really good question. I like kind of how I do it for Jim. So Jim has a show. He's the main character. But I can also Jim's never told me, hey, don't do the Firestarter promo. So like the creative aspect of that to lead into the T-shirt is 100% my idea. But like I have the avenue. So, but he might say, can you tweak it this way? So I'm kind of a character, but I would always prefer to be a supporting character and be the filmmaker. I don't need to be the center of attention. By the way, that makes me not a narcissist. So it depends what it is. So could I do that by myself? Yes. But I don't run around like, here's the idea. Well, somebody's got a camera. Go run over there and be the main character of that. I see signs all around LA. I don't need to be in everything. I could be a stunt guy and you'll never know that I'm even in it. You know what I mean? So sometimes it depends on how fulfilling it is and depending on what it is. But I'm not just going to go run there because there's a fucking camera, you know?
Did they call you a narcissist?
Well, they say anybody with a YouTube channel is a narcissist. Jim's a narcissist. I'm sorry, Gay Sloth is now a narcissist. You know, it's because you want to entertain people and get out information and also have a voice. You know,
you're talking about somebody who's been in Sports Illustrated, on Howard Stern, Fox News, ESPN 1 and 2, ESPN News, countless satellite radio channels, countless UFC radio, MMA Junkie for 12 years. No, I mean, MMA Weekly. Listen, you can name it. YouTube is a step back for me. Most of these people
say the same thing. I used to make fun of Jim. Let's go through it for me. Fangoria, Rue Morgue, every horror movie magazine, The Hollywood Reporter. You could go back and do other things like this, Jim. Warner Brothers, Netflix.
Just excesses.
I want to know if anybody out there, if you guys know anybody that you could talk to that before the age of 30 sold a film to Warner Brothers and Netflix. Let me know.
No. I do.
I don't know.
Yeah,
anybody.
It wasn't pornography. Now, listen, here's the deal. I'm not going to be on here long. And let me tell everybody, first of all, go get your friends, go get your coworkers, go get your YouTube people. Candace Howard, you cunt face, and Salty Pancakes, you fucking idiot. Today was a very interesting day, and let me explain why. Candace Howard has been after me for months. She had a son that went missing who she claims that she's a great mother to, which I found out today, as well as a whole lot of other stuff. Salty Pancakes and that whole crew over there. Here's what we've got, Sloth, okay? And I'm only here to raise numbers and to let people know. So I'm going to give a little bit of time. How many people are watching the programming right now? How many are in the chat? 78?
80 people. 80 people.
Yeah, have Hotspot and some of the, the old salty people. Go ahead and make the call. Fast Eddie, some of you guys, you want to friends with them or not.
Here's what we've got, ladies and gentlemen. About 2 hours ago, I got a phone call from Salty Pancakes' baby's mama. We talked for about an hour on the phone. I have that call at my disposal right now, ready to go. She outs everything there is to do about that man, including him trying to almost commit what they call feticide.
What does that mean?
That's when you try to hurt a fetus baby.
Whoa.
Yep. So not only do I have that, but after that, I got a phone call from one of Candace Howard's fucking neighbors. One of her fucking neighbors over there in Oklahoma, just outside of, over in Mustang, Oklahoma, former neighbor, current neighbor, I don't know, which led to a series of other fucking calls. So what I'm going to do is tell the haters here right now, you tattlers, you dime snitches, you fucking narcs, go head over there because in the next 60 seconds, I'm going to play a little tease, a little taste of the phone call between me and Salty Pancakes' baby mama, who he alluded to last night when he tried to ruin my show, this show's and others, that I was going to do this. Now, I've spoken to her several times on the phone. And she gives intimate details about this douchebag that are public knowledge that a lot of people just didn't know about. So, Sloth, if you're ready for your numbers to go to the next level, I'm willing to give you this gift, unless you want to continue to cover, stuff like glory holes. It's up to you.
Now, go ahead, Jim. Let me read this super chat real quick. King Samoan, thank you for the super chat, $1.49. Thank you, Jim. The floor is yours.
Guys, I want this chat to swell, Mr. X, but let me talk real quick about the Stiffy deal before we get to the deal. So I get a call from Stiffy this morning, and basically there's some more to the story. I'm not going to release it all here right now. She calls me crying, says she's in a very bad way. Figured she was looking for a little scratch, maybe some change. Didn't know what the story was. I'm like, you've got nothing left to shave. And basically, she says that they went into a probation office because her husband, or boyfriend, I should say, if it was her husband, it'd probably be a different story, never came out. So what happened is, I guess he's on probation. He went behind the probation curtain to meet with his probation officer. She's not his wife. And he never came back out. She knocked on the door. Finally, somebody opened it up and says, ICE has taken him.
And by the way, I know Hotspot and some of the other people that I mentioned too. I mean, I know that you guys support everybody, but I know that you also support him. And if you wanted to, you could tell him. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything bad about you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to support a guy who beats up women when they're pregnant with their children, you can do that. You know what I mean? You have that right.
Play that game. That's a bitch.
Well, wait till you hear this.
The woman. That's a fucking pussy.
Yep.
That's why I said that motherfucker. I guarantee you, he PC'd up.
He made a career of it. But we'll get to that. You know, I would like to tell you, but I'd rather show you.
Yeah,
we'll get to that now because it's hilarious. We even talk about salty pancakes as wiener size.
Gross.
You know, I get to the bottom of everything over here because I'm
did she call you, or did you call? How did that work? Like any of these people, you don't reach out and find these people, right? This lady contacted you.
So when I went on Salty's show the other day and was battling him a little bit, and then he called our show, she called me yesterday. She called me again tonight. She gave me her name. Now, if you notice, when Salty called me the other day, I let him talk because I asked him if he knew who she was because I wanted to verify it. And he said, yeah, sounds like a baby's mom. I go, yeah, your baby's mom. What happened to the railroad? She talks about his other jobs, how he's addicted to the Illuminati, all kinds of stuff. We'll get to that. So Fast Eddie, go ahead and tell the drools over there. Go ahead and tell that mutant that he does the show with, those hags, that chick with the
Nick
face.
Malone too. I unblocked you. So, yeah.
Go ahead and tell that hag over there and her chubby husband who had a stroke. You ever heard of somebody that has a stroke on both sides of their body? That never happens, huh?
No. I've only known where they have half the body, like half their one side can't move or can't. My old doctor's wife was the person at the front desk, and that's half her body was like that. So half her face was like sagging and drooping, like she was frowning, and the other side she can move. But
I would have said, you know what I would have said to her? I would have said, I bet you give a great half a blowjob. Now listen, here's the deal. So Stiffy calls me. They take him away. He had a couple of felony warrants, and for some reason, he had to take care of him. So they took him behind closed doors. She had not seen him again. I have looked into the case a little bit. There was some rumors that maybe they have called ICE on her, and that they're going to do the same thing to Miss T's husband, and that this is like their version of swatting on these people. I don't know. But because she's not married, they didn't even have to tell her where he is. So he just, poof, disappeared. He's gone. Nobody knows where he's at. And they're not telling anybody. I mean, usually you don't see this with white people. You know? It's a real tragedy today.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah. I mean, you're allowed to, you could come illegally into this country and be brown. They give you a cell phone, a debit card. They'll put you in a hotel.
Give you EBT.
Yeah. EBT. They'll put your family up. It's getting to be where you can't even, this guy's had a pretty bad fucking week or a pretty bad month. First, the cat eats off his body and dies. His wife shaves her head. And now ICE is going to deport him back to whatever fucking country he's from, England. So
yeah, Stiffy, I wouldn't suggest you going on any YouTube channel and talking about it. You know, that unless it's Jim Terry TV, of course.
Yeah, Stiffy, only come over to our channels over here with the sloth and all that. But
I'm serious. Like I would suggest probably staying away from that.
Correct. You know? Now,
speak to somebody who's an actual attorney.
Now, Stiffy, Stiffy's going to need a little scratch.
Do what you want.
He was obviously an influence of hers. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. I don't want to do this. So, now we can have fun with Stiffy.
Dick. What the fuck?
The King of England.
Yeah, he's got Stiffy. Listen, I don't want to be the first one to say this, but me and Ruben were talking about this off the air. We're sick of these white people coming across the border here illegally.
Man, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
These fuckers from Canada pouring in over the border.
Yeah. Taking over my ancestors' land and shit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out
He's
of here.
not indigenous to this country. Tell him to go back over to Hitler land. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. I want you to listen to this very closely.
Okay.
I was down to talk to my doctor about Rebelsis.
Got to get through here. I'm going to get ready for this audio.
The hell's Rubelsis?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and play this call now with Salty Pancakes' baby's mom. It'll be debuted here first. This is huge. Let everybody know. How many are in the chat now?
94.
Oh, 14 extra people. Let me find it. Here it is.
Guys, he's got you smooth like he's some sort of, like he's some sort of, magician. I'm sorry? He's a con artist. Well, he could be a con artist all he wants. He works for a company. And I spoke with that company. Several people have. I spoke with him several times. I mean, I don't know how to make you believe me, but he's making between 80. His.
Hold on, guys. Let me go on mute here. I've got a very important business call. The rest of this can be heard tonight on Jim Terry TV. Thank you.
Yeah, guys. I'm going to drop down and get. Oh man.
Yeah, you're
Sloth,
like
that's scary stuff there. Are you there, Sloth?
Johnny.
I'm here. I'm
going to drop down, jump in the shower, kind of get everything set up here in a bit. But yeah, if when I pop on, I mean, I'm probably just going to play a little bit of music stuff, and then obviously the show that I was planning on doing at 6:05 does not involve any drama. I was just going to talk to people about their funny stories with stuff in the snow or snow sledding or anything like that. But hey, maybe we'll calm down before things get crazy again. But whew.
You never know.
Tonelli, Suzanne, if he gets fired, the child only suffers. He's not paying child support.
Right.
So,
and a public announcement, whatever JT has with these people is not with Johnny.
Right.
Everybody's welcome here. If you guys haven't already realized that, you guys see how we operate. Everybody's free, to bullshit with each other, laugh and stuff. This is just something, off topic and stuff.
It definitely came as a surprise. But I don't get down with fucking women beaters, man. That's some bullshit.
Neither do
I don't give a fuck who you are. That's some bullshit.
Word.
In fact,
gotta be careful out there, guys, because you never know who these people really are, and we're finding out. And the people who they're saying is this and that are never really the case. They're saying things about me being a P and writing a kid's book to this is the kind of shit that's going out there. That's just it's so upsetting and so demeaning after all the effort that I've put in and other people have put in. I'm not alone here. Other people have helped me too. So
let me say, can I say something real quick, Mr. X?
Yeah, dude. Go ahead. I
got to say this is I'm going to say this on my own. This has been on my chest for a long time. I don't understand when there are good people out there trying to do the right thing, like you, Jim Terry. When you got the only reason why people, what's that word I'm trying to look for? That like if someone comes and antagonize you, and then you guys can only take so much of it. Like you guys are letting it build up. You guys are letting it build up, and just getting it build up. And then y'all had to y'all most definitely had enough of it. That's why you guys are now getting back at these people because they keep on hurting you. Hurting Jim.
Ridiculous, dude. The fact that this guy would make an @Kyle the Coyote Twitter with hardcore gay porn and then try to link it to the author is unbelievable. And then even to the extent where it's screenshotted. The only Twitter that's associated is the author's Twitter. I mean, this is what they do, guys. This is how they do it. And I'm very proud of how I've lived my life. Jim's a tough cookie. He's rough around the edges. But the stuff that they're accusing him or Jim Terry, I guess you want to call it, for lack of a better word, senior, Jim's father, he's not a senior because they don't have the same middle name. But, this guy's like a pillar of that community. Now this guy's going after the police officer, the sheriff, because he thinks that Jim Terry, the father, has him in his pocket. This isn't Louisiana. Florida isn't Utah. It doesn't work like that. I mean, I know even those areas don't really necessarily have it that deep, but Pinellas County is not like that. So they're attacking this guy's nest. So we literally had 70 mentions today or so, like where they tag your name. I'm surprised they didn't do it to you. Talking to me, talking to Jim and other people. They're going to put Jim's sister on a Reddit, call her work. I mean, there's a lot of ones you guys don't even know. So yeah, it's a little bit it's upsetting, and it's continuous, and they got nothing else.
Yeah.
The thing about that is, if somebody's gonna do that, because it can all be traced back to eventually, somebody. And this is what I always tell people: you never know who knows somebody, and eventually, if he does that, it gets to
the wrong people.
Somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna fucking take that shit. And I'm not saying who, what, when, whatever.
But eventually, somebody.
Hey guys, hey, Melissa, put Mr. X's link in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop down, guys. I'm gonna jump in the shower. I'm not gonna come up for a little bit anyway, so I'll just catch up with you guys in a bit.
Peace.
Okay.
So keep your channel in a minute.
Okay, so we'll keep trucking then. Okay, guys.
Yeah, we can keep going until his show's ready to go. That works.
Yeah, let's change the subject. Let's change the subject. Let's change the subject.
Absolutely, but let me bring this up like Ruben was saying first. We let anybody up on the panel. Johnny's a big supporter of Jim and Mr. X. Just because they, Jim has those views and is letting everybody know what's going on in his stuff. Johnny's not about all that. He's about the positivity, as you know. Just because we allow them up here, I should say he allows everybody up here to say what they got to say and get the word out. Like Jim said, and Mr. X said, they can only take so much before somebody's, as a man, my ego would be the same. I would feel like I need to vindicate myself or prove myself and show everybody, you know what, this person's saying this and it's bullshit. So I can see both sides of the story. I don't get down with woman beaters. I never have. I never will. If it's true, that's horrible. But at the end of the day, it really has nothing to do with Johnny's show, what Johnny does over here. We're, like I said, we all like to focus on the positive. We already have enough bullshit in our daily lives.
Amen.
Everybody to not want to have to come here and deal with it. Yeah, I know a lot of people will come in and want to see it and go, and that's great. And I like Jim's show, and I like Jim when he comes up and informs us what's going on as well. So I'm not trying to say anything bad like that. I'm just saying I don't want people to think Johnny's going to become collateral damage or somebody's going to come after Johnny now in Long Beach just because he has somebody on his show. Does that make sense, Johnny?
Right. Yeah. And let me read this right now. We all need to be on guard. People are crazy. We can't predict their reactions. You're right, Queen. Of Otis, we can't. And here's my thing. I'm a positive guy. We got a positive show. I was not expecting that Jim's going to do that. But, I tell you the truth. I have not done nothing wrong to nobody. I have not done nothing wrong to Salty. So Salty and I don't have a problem with Salty. Salty just needs to leave me alone. And whoever else that has a problem with Jim and Mr. X, they need to that's between them. That doesn't have nothing to do with my channel. I have nothing but respect for Jim and Mr. X and the people that's in my chat room and the people that are on my panel. You guys are my family. I love every one of you guys. And on that note, we're going to go out with this. Stay positive, stay kind, stay gorgeous, stay beautiful, stay kind, and God bless America. We're going to keep it going like, hey, guys. And the most,
that's right.
And the most of all, most important of all, follow the YouTube rules
and guidelines. That's
and
true.
Guidelines.
So, Johnny,
my chat room is simple. Be polite, be kind, be nice to one another. And I got good mods in there that will take them out real quick. If you guys don't know how to do it and want to be a troll, my mods will take you out real quick. And you know what? I got a mod that's undercover, and he's doing a really good job up on the panel watching. So trust and believe we are watching for trolls. Go ahead, King.
Well, I was just going to say, Johnny, and I agree. We did kind of get way off subject of the whole past life that we were going to talk about. But, you know, it happens. You know, something came up with that, and he wanted to let everybody know. So it is what it is.
I thought it was going to be about Stiffy. I didn't know it was going to fucking take like a fucking.
Oh, yeah, the whole Stiffy thing.
Turn.
Well, and I think that whole thing goes back to she really not being married to him. That's going to be really, really tough for them. You know, like she said, she's not able to find out anything because she's not. Her best bet would be to contact maybe his family members if she knows any of them and have them contact the detention center. You know, because it has to be family.
If he was on probation.
Real quick, guys. I got something to say. On Sunday, on this very show right here, on Johnny Yarbrough, a.k.a. Gay Sloth TV, we will be on Sunday singing happy birthday to a very special lady. And her name is Blue Diamond. We're going to bring her up on the panel, and we're all going to sing her happy birthday so we can all get along, you know, have a birthday special. We're going to have a birthday bash for Blue Diamond over here on Johnny Yarbrough's, a.k.a. Gay Sloth TV.
Right. Yeah. Well, and somebody in chat, Johnny, wants you to reschedule the past lives thing because I'd really like to have Danielle and Miss.
Please reschedule your original topic, Johnny. Okay, yeah. I will be doing a part 2.
That I wanted to hear from.
I'll be doing a part 2 tomorrow.
Okay. Just so we can get back on the top. I know we're going to be running into Mr. X's show in here a minute, and he said he'll let us know when he's going to go. Right. So he said stay on until then, which is fine. But you're right, Johnny. At the end of the day, none of that stuff has anything to do with you or me or Ruben. And I say things here and there because shit like the woman stuff really gets me irritated. But at the end of the day, it's not my fight. I don't have a problem with anybody on YouTube because I don't fucking know anybody. You know, in real life, these people aren't affecting me. And even if they did, at the end of the day, I really don't give a shit, man. I'm still going to live my life the way I want to live it, regardless. So it doesn't. You know, it doesn't really affect me. I just let it go to the side. The negative can go to the side and focus on the positive.
That's it.
And Shaq Lady, I want to just share something with you. Thank you for saying what you were saying about it's going to eventually hurt all of us on here on YouTube. Thank you for saying that. And Shaq Lady, I've never got to meet you in my whole life. Shaq Lady, it seems like you're an all right person. And I just want to say thank you, Shaq Lady, for coming on here on my show and showing a little bit of support. Thank you. Thank you, Shatlana. And I hope you feel better. And I hope the doctors can cure your medical deals that you need to be taken care of. And another thing, Shaq Lady, is that you guys are a very good person. And just Robbie, you are a good guy, Robbie. You know, I'm so proud of you, Robbie, that you're doing your thing. And if anybody wants to go check out his Twitch channel, everybody go over to Just Robbie and check out his channel. And let's not forget about Miss T. Everybody, let's get over there and let's get Miss T subscribed. And if you like her, go watch her channel. And Johnny, you are collateral damage just because. What's that mean?
Who said that?
Shaq Lady, what does that mean?
More or less, you're
guilty by association.
No. People may come after you or attack you because you support Jim and you're a big Jim Terry Mr. X fan. So she's saying, just like her, she's in this same little kind of group of people that they may come after you like they're coming after her, but Johnny, like I said, at the end of the day, you don't have to focus on that. You know, what you bring to your show is up to you. Right. So you've always been about the positive stuff, like being a shoulder to cry on, whatever it is.
Guilty by association. What?
I don't go to pretty much anybody else's channel really. I watch Jim.
And I want to be honest with you guys. I'm already a step ahead. I've already reported it to the Long Beach Police Department. I'm already ahead.
Right. Right.
I'm a
And
step
Well, and
ahead.
that's a smart thing to do, just in case. So,
yeah,
especially
I
in
know,
the
I know,
neighborhood
Ruben. I know,
where
I know.
you're in.
King Samoan, and Ruben. I know you guys have my back. Y'all said that since day one. Since
Right.
day one, brother. And King Samoan, I know you have my back, bro. I know you do. Oh shit, who's calling me now?
Well, I just
Blue
don't
Diamond.
want people to
We
start
got a
coming
special
after you.
yeah.
we got a special lady calling in. You're on live. Where are you calling from?
Hi, Johnny. It's Blue Diamond, South Dakota.
Hey, Blue Diamond. How are you, hon?
I'm doing good today.
Good, good.
I wanted to congratulate you on your channel,
Thank you.
and I wish the best. And I know that it's just taking off. There's more to come, Johnny.
Yes, ma'am. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? On Sunday, we're gonna have a birthday bash for you.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm gonna try and have a little cake or something so that I can eat it, and y'all can see me eating some of my cake.
Okay, cool. That'll be great.
Yeah, and I love your show.
Thank you.
I've been trying to hang around, because I get really tired, but I've been trying to hang around and watch your lives and other people's lives, and I really like it. So I wish you the best, and you have a beautiful heart, Johnny. You are an amazing person, and you are loved by so many.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
love you. Thank you.
I love you too, Blue Diamond. You want to say anything to the King Samoan or Ruben?
Oh, of course, yes. You guys are awesome. You guys make a great trio on the panel. And there's Equalizer is missing, but you guys are awesome. I really like to hear your conversations, and I can just, like the other day, I was just hearing you guys, and I fell asleep hearing you guys because you had just talked so much. And I didn't even chat, but I was listening to you guys because it's so interesting. So I really like that. I really like the stories. I like everything you guys share. So it's awesome. Thank you. And the chat is amazing.
Thank you, Blue. And yeah, thank you, Blue. And we dig you too, and the chat as well. You know what I mean? Like, you notice the chat is different, than other chats. Everybody pretty much gets along in the chat, and I dig that. And I think the people on the chat is they can talk with each other and leave all the other bullshit behind. And that's pretty much all we ask for.
Yes, and my family's far, and I can't visit, so and we do chat and stuff on Messenger, and we text. But getting to know other people in the chat is like my family too. Everybody in this channel, JTTV and JTTV2 are my family, and also in Mrs. T and Betty's and channels. I mean, all those. That's my family right there. You guys are my family. You guys help me through the hardest moments. And even when I'm not feeling well, just hearing, hey, how are you doing today? Or I hope you get to feeling better. So see, that for me makes a big difference. So I'm really blessed to have each and every one of you.
Thank you very much, Blue Diamond.
Thank you. And I'll be ready for Jim Terry later.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
No problem. Much love. Much love, Blue Diamond.
Same here. Love you guys.
I love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you go. That was a simple call. She called in. That was Blue Diamond, everybody, and we all love it.
She's an awesome lady. Yeah, she's an awesome lady. She's always positive in the chat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Alexia. And I just want to share something with everybody too. If you guys liking, welcome to the circus. I appreciate you guys coming to welcome. And when I'm welcoming you guys to the circus, we are going to have another show tomorrow to repeat on what we were children's past lives, because I got a couple of people I want to bring up on the panel tomorrow. And you guys are awesome. I really love every one of you guys. And let's get ready to go. I guess we're still going to stay on, right, King?
Yeah, up until Mr. X goes live. So he said he'll go live here shortly. So he's going to.
And put Mr. X.
He's live now. I didn't realize he's live now, Johnny. So
what's his show's name? What's the show name?
It's under Mr. X, Jim Terry TV 2. He's live now, though.
Oh, he is?
Okay, everybody, let's get over there. Everybody, let's get over there to Mr. X's channel, Jim Terry TV 2. God bless you guys. Until next time, further ado, I will see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Peace out. Good night, Ruben. And broadcast.